Hi, and welcome to Grim Wednesdays. My name's Judy, and I run Quiet Year Records. This is a collaborative effort between me, Grimalkin Records, and rumblepak, and we're here to talk with some really interesting people about music and not music, and raise money for Virginia Anti-Violence Project. They do a lot of really great work supporting survivors of violence within and against the LGBTQIA+ community across the state. So I highly recommend that you check out their website, virginiaavp.org, and maybe even become a recurring donor. So they do a lot of great stuff, and I really hope that you'll check it out. But today we are talking to Shormey, Virginia's own, and also New Jersey's Luke from Teenage Halloween, Kissies, Inlet Terror, and probably a lot of other music that you love. Yeah, so thank you for being here. Hi, Shormey, how are you?
Hi, Judy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. How's your day been?
Pretty good. Um, what did I do? Nothing. Really. Just worked on some music, really. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so wanted to talk with you today a little bit about your music and the processes going behind it. How would you describe how you and your sound has changed over time?
Um, I don't know. I don't know how much it's changed. I just like making different kind of stuff. So like
Hmm.
sometimes, I guess in my main project is like disco type of stuff. Like so more like key based, but I also like just like making guitar music. So I kind of just, throw those to the side and then I end up just like putting them out. Like it's just, some like a free thing or something like that usually.
Yeah, for sure. I loved the Bob Ross inspired lo-fi album that you put out. Um, I have been wondering though, so why Bob Ross?
Oh, yeah, I just had those songs and this was like I guess like back in like 2017 or something, 2016, and I was me and my friends were burning the CDRs to sell at a show.
Hmm. Hmm.
Bob Ross was just like on the TV. So I was like, I'll name it. God bless Bob Ross. He's a good dude. He's been working. Well, I mean, I think he passed, but he was working hard while he was here. So I just named it after him.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. I think I drew like the parallel of Bob Ross being like a positive and sweet person, and something that comes out in your music actually is I would say like the upbeatness. So I
Oh,
thought that was like a nice little
wow,
tie around.
a lot. That's a lot better of an answer. But I like that. But yeah, thank you.
I mean, that being said, how would you describe your experiences switching over from doing live performances with a full band as opposed to kind of creating music at home and a little bit more in isolation than before? How's that been for you?
Um, well, I've kind of always made music by myself. Like even the stuff that I perform, like with the band, is still like the music that I made was still like by myself. So the only thing that has changed was like is just the not doing the shows part, like with the band and everything. But like as far as just being home making music by myself, that's kind of like how it's always been for me, pretty much.
No, that's really neat. How would you say the process goes for, do you like, I don't know how to phrase this very well. Do you write all of the parts and then have bandmates like fill in, or how does that work?
As far as like performing live or
Yeah, yeah, performing live.
um, how does it work? I mean, it's like is I just normally just send them the songs and they like work out parts and then when we meet up, um, we just kind of figure it out, um, together. But usually that's how it goes. Just send it to them and then they just work out their parts on their own and then we make it work. You know.
Yeah, that's really neat. I mean, I think something that I've noticed, um, yeah, there's always a difference between like a live performance and how a recorded track will be.
Mhm.
And some people do it, different ways where they start off, writing parts with the band and then they record it. And it's really interesting to hear about kind of the other way around of other people coming in and interpreting your work.
Right. Yeah. It's it normally works out pretty good usually. It takes a minute sometimes just to get it to kind of sound like the um or sound like the song, but it usually comes together in the end.
That's really neat. That's really cool. You actually have a new music video out as well,
Mhm.
which I loved. I thought it was really beautiful, and the colors are really nice, and the theme I thought was really nice. Could you tell us a little bit about the process of creating the music video?
Well, it was yeah, it was directed by Hank. I basically they had reached out to me like I think almost like a year or two ago to do something, and I couldn't really do it then, but then it ended up working out that we did it earlier this year, and I literally just you know did like they were like stand here, and I was like, all right, I'll do this. Like it was pretty much all of like Hank's vision and Hank's team's vision and everything. So I was just excited to be a part of it. Like they made it look really cool. So
That's really neat. Yeah, visually, it's really great. Were you involved in the idea part, I guess, like the themes involved, or?
not really. I mean, we met up before, like, and like we just talked about. I just like told him how much I liked Tori Moa, and like in his videos where he's just like staring off in the distance, and like it's just kind of awkward and weird, and he was like, oh, I love that stuff too. I love Tori Moa. So that's kind of like where it started. But then he went and just took that idea and just you know came up with everything.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I would say that is kind of another similar to the collaborations between you and coming and like live bandmates. Is it sounds like it's like you start off with the song and then other people kind of bring in their interpretations and influences.
Because the songs are just so much just of like just me kind of making everything as like I don't want to I want when other people are involved I want them to have like their input and part of their vision instead of just like all what I think. So
Yeah, that's really neat. It sounds really, really collaborative. And so, I mean, I personally just think that's really, really cool. So I mean, going off of like Toro Imoa, who is also, I would say, as someone who has like a lot of different like influences and different sounds going on, what other artists would you say have influenced you over the years?
ooh, let's see. Um, I guess Tori Mob be the main one. I like Babyface. He kind of started it all for me. That's how I got into music, kind of from him. I like it's hard question because there's just so many people come to mind. I like Stevie Wonder a lot. Unknown Mortal Orchestra, like I was telling you before, Fleetwood Mac.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm so obsessed with them. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah, those are the main ones.
Can we actually talk about the Fleetwood Mac thing for a second?
I'd love to. I'd love to talk to anybody about Fleetwood Mac.
Would it be, can I just go ahead and say, what are your thoughts on Fleetwood Mac?
They're just great. I I'm just I think I'm just so interested in them. Like just their story is so crazy. Like how they were literally out for like 10 years before they really popped off, and then just how rumors was made, and like just they were all dating each other, then they all broke up, and they were all like doing coke and just but they came out with this like crazy album like about their tumultuous relationship. It's just crazy. I've been watching the producer Ken Calais. He has a audio book about making rumors, and I've just been like listening to it. they're just fascinating to me.
Yeah, for sure. If there's anything that particularly like resonates with you from their story and their music, what would you say it would be?
Their music. I love specifically. I'm just a big fan of Stevie Nicks and Christine McVie. Just like their songwriting, I just love them. And then just also just like I said, just the drama of it. Like I love the story. Like I love the music first and foremost, but then the drama. It's so entertaining.
I would say, yeah, that is really fascinating to hear, especially hearing that coming from the past as opposed to kind of like living in it right now. I feel like I would interpret it differently if I was seeing it in real time.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, like if Fleetwood Mac were making the Rumors album now, and I hear about, oh my gosh, there's like relationship drama going on and stuff.
Yeah, it's it's so crazy. And just the book that I was reading that the producer wrote, like he's just telling all these stories and like it's just crazy. Like they had exes coming by to the studio to make each other jealous and like it's just crazy. Sorry, that was
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hi. Well, that's really neat. Yeah, no, there's definitely like a lot more to creating a record than just, writing and recording the music.
right, exactly.
Yeah. And it's so fascinating getting to know artists in that way. So again, thank you for being here. What would you say is something like an art form or like an idea or theme that has been interesting you lately?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess like when it comes to like the writing music or just in
I
general
guess just in general, in your life or in art or your
themes.
brain.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I guess it's just always like just trying to make it through life. I guess that's just what I always write about. I guess like just trying to keep it together. That's like the theme that I'm always interested in, like how you can just keep going, and just taking it day by day. So I don't know. That's kind of depressing, but that's usually what I'm into. What I write about usually.
Yeah, I don't think that's depressing. I mean, it's real life, you know?
Right.
Uh, yeah, and kind of going back to the music video, actually, that was something that uh, I thought was apparent to me. It was kind of like the building up and the collapsing and the kind of like the cycle of that happening and it also being displayed in a really beautiful way. And so I thought that was really neat. I feel like that kind of goes along with what you're saying about, you know, life, getting through life.
Yeah, because like I said, like I was like when me and Hank, who directed the video, we were just talking, and I think that like they asked me about the same thing about like the content of the music or whatever, and I think I said a similar thing, and I think he just kind of took that idea and just like ran with it pretty much. So
Yeah, that's really neat. It's like you supply the sound and the words and the message. And then to be able to see that like visually represented alongside, other than just the album artwork.
right, exactly.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I have a few more questions for you actually. So these are a little bit more open-ended than more specifically about your music, but just kind of in general. What do you want for the future?
Um, for the future, I would just like to just be able to make music and live and just do what I whatever I'm interested in at the time. That's like what I try to work towards doing.
Yeah, for sure. I think I mean, you're definitely showing that you're always kind of thinking about how to create and like, what's going on in your life. And so it's really nice to be able to hear that through your music. How can we actually support you right now?
I'm on Bandcamp. I have a Bandcamp. The second pressing of the Boogie tape, Citrus City Manny, I think he's in here, over Citrus City. He was nice enough to reprint the tape. So you could support me over there and do that. And I'm on Venmo. Sorry, my aunt just came in the house. But yeah, I'm on Venmo, Shormey -A-1. And yeah, there's Spotify. So I don't know. That's pretty much it.
Sweet. Wait, is it Shormey-A, like the letter A?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shormey -A-1.
Cool.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna find the music links in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Sweet. Alrighty. Well, my last question for you, also very open-ended. Is there anything you would like the world to know or hear other than your music?
Oh, sure. I guess. No, not really. Just, if anybody's out there, just want them to, stay safe and hope they're doing well. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, that definitely. Well, thank you so much for talking with us on this and sharing so much about your ideas and where you're going.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So thank you again. That was Shormey, and you're watching Grim Your Wednesdays. Please, please, please donate to Virginia Anti-Violence Project. If you're not able to, ask a friend, ask their friend. They do a lot of great work supporting survivors of violence in the LGBTQIA plus community across Virginia. So please, please, please see what you can do. See what your friends can do. Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna kind of shift over. Again, this is Grim Your Wednesdays. That was Shormey. I am Judy. Shout out to Grimalkin and to rumblepak. And we're kind of gonna shift over to Luke from Teenage Halloween. Also in Kissies, Inlet Terror, Magic Gremlin. Yes. And a lot of wonderful projects from over the years. I'm gonna go ahead and say, hey Luke, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Super excited to be here. I really love what you've been doing. It's been super fun, and I've been tuning in sometimes, and it's really nice.
Thanks. Well, take it away.
I passed the gas station. My thoughts all seem to rhyme. Existential, I'll take it. My urges are all fucked this time. Laying down on the mattress, mirrors circle every night. You are ugly, free of sorrow. Impermanence will die. There's a revolution in due time. There, bones and uneaten. My life, you can remain neutral in the night. You could choose a cause to your own fight. Trying to love you, but these things won't ever change. I'm not the boy that you thought I'd call out to be. No, I'm not. Then it now was such a fucked up time. Oh, that girl with hidden roses underneath. As very sky, there's a fire, and it burns heavy. There's a fire, and it burns heavy. Gross, heartless sack of shit. What the hell have you been smoking? When the marijuana hit, toxic road. Cool, thank you. Cool, here's another one. Fuck, okay. The news makes me sweat, discomfort down under. I'm dying, thoughts piling. I've been under the covers. I love you so much, I could die for you. And the current state in this world, wish I could undo. And when I walk outside, terror comes to mind. Agoraphobic time, therapy come faster. Don't wanna live in a world ignorantly ran by fascists, but there's no control in almost every facet. Such a minuscule force. I should go to bed. I hope you can find a safe place resting in your head. I can't imagine life without you around, and you're like a best friend. Hope you hear the sound of Cool, that song's coming out Tuesday. All right.
Yay, thank you so much for playing. That was so great, and I'm sorry about the unemployment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hi Luke. How's your day been?
Very good. I drove to North Jersey to get a Boss pedal because I was excited about it when it went online because it was really cheap, and then I had really good food, and now I'm here.
Nice.
And yeah, playing with my theremin all day.
Yes, we need to talk about your theremin. So I think it's so fascinating. Could you show us how it works and like what it is, just in case?
So I have a nerdy friend named Phil. He has a studio called In the West, and he built me a theremin because I've been doing noise music for the last year, and I wanted something that's like really different and strange. So he built this. It has a resistor, which is like a weird like circuit right here, and it's like light sensitive. So this LED turns on when I turn it on, and then it like in the beat to the beat of the light, it kind of moves and resists, and then you can change the frequencies from low to high, and when you put your hand on it, like you can modulate how it works based on like hand movements, and it's really cool like that. And then with the light moving and your hand moving in a certain way, you can like just do like
wobbles and stuff. It's kind of crazy. And then yeah, that's how I've been having a lot of fun with it. That's all. It's like a weird thing. He drew a fox on it because the fox is the studio's logo. So it's like, I think I have one of their first like custom instruments, which is really cool. And I'm gonna use it with my with Inlet Terror. I'm connecting it to one of my drums, and I'm gonna like do hand movements with a stick sometimes when I'm like drumming. So it's gonna be like, cause Inlet Terror I've made like a trash kit with where I put all of my synths all over the drum kit, and the goal of that band is to look like I'm having a really hard time while playing drums. So I'm like drumming and I'm just like turning knobs while drumming, and this is just a new addition to the horror I've created myself.
That's awesome. I mean, I love the idea of, I mean, there's like so many different kinds of instruments out there, but the fact that like you're using your hand and like just the like where it is in space to make noise, that's really cool.
Yeah, it feels like very futuristic and weird. It feels very it's very weird. I don't get it at all. I don't understand how it works. I guess it's just based on frequencies and like blocking the light, but I really don't know, and I don't ask, so it's cool.
You just get to enjoy.
Yeah. Sometimes we just gotta ask less questions, and like, and we can enjoy things, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I didn't jam a lot before this like this performance, so I apologize to the loyal listeners, but I appreciate you tuning in.
I mean, I appreciate you playing. I mean, I appreciate that you bring up the different ways that you play music, because I think you have a couple different projects that are pretty different from each other. Like you mentioned, Inlet Terrors, more of like a harsh noise project, very experimental, as opposed to Teenage Halloween, which is like power pop. And you're also in Kissies, which is like a straight up like Scrams band. Yeah, hardcore Scrams. Yeah, how has that been? Or I guess, could you describe what goes through your head when you're coming up with music for such different types of, or I guess just in such different areas?
So I personally have been someone that have been influenced by all types of music my whole life. Like I started listening to like, when I was young, I listened to classic rock. I started listening to like hardcore and like hip hop and all that stuff over time. And I feel like with music, it has just been very relative for me, where like I like to play a certain type of music based on like the mindset I'm in, or based on the emotion that goes into writing it. So like Teenage Halloween is like pop, but it's like sad pop songs, and I feel like that's a very specific type of mood. And then like When Kissies is more like confrontational, and like Magic Grelin is more just like kind of happy, like it's like euphoria based in nihilism, and that's really nice. Like we're like, we write a lot of songs about how like we just got like about like stopping caring, because that you're at such a low point that like you have to just like survive by moving forward. And I also, so with Inlet Terror, I want it to be the least meaningful band I'm in, because I want it to be like, I want it to be literally just me like dicking around with different things and like trying to just have like a nice time just immersing myself in music. And the way that we've been doing it is we refuse. The goal of it is to not write a song. We're not going to write a song. No fucking way. Fuck songs. So Inlet Terror is a band where we just jam, like we're in each other's like rooms and stuff, and we make it work, and we try and make it as loud as possible so no one hears us fucking up, and it's been the best. Yeah, no, and I've tried to just like base each band that I'm in off of like something I want to achieve in music. Like with Teenage Halloween, that's like the band that like the most people like probably agreeably could listen to, because it's like pop. And then I like that because it's like I can test my songwriting in like a catchy sense. And then with Kissies, it's more of like more of like a like I've grown up in hardcore. I was the the weak ass gay kid in my scene, and I want to be able to play music that is as confrontational as them and not be seen as weak. So this kissy thing that we've been doing has been a very it's been trying to be like confrontational, angry, aggressive by a bunch of soft ass people, and we're really trying our best to convey that we have anger and we aren't complacent with that band. And with Magic Relin, it's more of just like me and the boys rocking out, which is really funny. But that's my band with the best men I've ever met, and I'm very glad to do that. And it is, yeah, no, I'm covering a lot of ground for myself this year, and I was only in one band for like 3-4 years, and then I started 3 other bands because that I needed some extra feelings out of music that wasn't just like playing catchy pop songs, even though they mean a lot to me. It's just like there's certain levels of like confrontation and like an anger that I wanted to convey.
Yeah, for sure. It's really interesting to hear the different intersections of, I mean, because they're all coming from you. You're one person, right?
Yes.
And then there's like the different collaborations that go on, but then the intricacies of, having so many different like feelings and experiences. It's really nice to be able to hear it expressed in so many different ways, and in so many ways that I still enjoy across genres. I thought that was really neat.
I mean, my goal is to like, I want to be in all kinds of bands. I want to be in all types of bands. Like, my goal is to experience music to its fullest, and I'm hoping to do that by wearing myself out.
Yeah, it sounds like every time you're trying to learn something new, you're using these concepts. So it sounds like very utilitarian.
It's the beautiful thing about obsessive compulsive disorder. It's the worst ever, but at least I try and get good at things instead of just give up. But it's like like I sing a lot about like struggling with OCD in a lot of my songs, and the thing about it that does translate well in my life is the fact that like even though it is overwhelming sometimes, it makes me at least like really set on my goals, which is like just like the sad truth about a really dark problem. And I feel like it's made me this year, specifically because I have been medicated, able to like focus on my on myself and like utilize those things to make more positive changes.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed that, I mean, I think you had a really great explanation of the different kinds of themes that you have going on in your different projects. And it sounds like across all of those things, it's like your real life struggles are at the core of them. And the ways that you express those things, I guess like the volume and capacity of those things. I think on your the Teenage Halloween Bandcamp specifically, you describe it as songs about mental health and queer struggles, which is so great against the juxtaposition of like songs that I want to dance to and sing along with.
Yeah, and it's like I really like to write songs that recognize that I have privilege, but understand the fact that being mentally ill is still like a level of like being chained down, and the fact that like the way that the US and like the world, but the US specifically, treats mentally unhealthy people keeps them from living their lives to the fullest. So though I want the music to recognize the level of privilege I have, I want it to also recognize the fact that like with mental illness, I am unable to complete most tasks. I don't know. And it like, I don't know. The music for me is very like cathartic because I'm like good at these like interviews and stuff, but I'm not good at like really like pouring my heart out to a therapist. So like the music is kind of like speaks for that. I try my best to have what I'm really dealing with, but like masked by music.
Yeah, I think that's a really wonderful part about your art is that you're able to be very vulnerable in ways that, you know, you're in control of how much you
Yeah.
share, the words that you use, like the exact notes that it involves.
Yeah, and it's weird because I'm trying, like, I am really trying to like, so we're gonna make another record pretty soon, and I want to make this record more of like less about me and more about like I want it to be more about like the and actually weirdly less political, because I'm doing a lot more political stuff with a lot of my other bands, and I want to make this next thing that I'm doing a little bit more like just about like breaking free of your social restraints. Like, I've been writing a lot of songs about like trying to go out even when you don't want to and stuff like that. Like, I really want to make like empowering songs for people that feel like they need to stay home all the time, or people that feel like they're inadequate to be at a party because of how they look. Like, I'm chubby. I really don't like going to parties and like meeting new people and stuff because I'm very insecure, and I want to write songs that empower just people that have issues with themselves, to like empower them to try and break through those things naturally.
Do you think that there's a difference between, I guess, taking a political stance and the things that you just described?
Um, a little bit, because like it's not. I feel as if it's not like. I mean, it's still a political stance, but I feel like it's less like anti-government, more like vouching for yourself and like creating positive steps for yourself instead of like strictly criticizing like government and stuff like I have in a lot of my past songs. Like, I feel like I really want to more focus on self, because I've been reading a lot of like weird philosophy stuff, and I just think it's important to like, I don't know, that if we can live our lives to the fullest, we can fight to the fullest against the things that tie us all down. Like, if we can, like, I just feel like if I don't know, I want to empower people to be able to like speak up and like be able to do things that they weren't able to do, because I'm personally learning that. So it's just me trying to share what I'm learning. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like,
I think that's really beautiful.
yeah, like I feel like sharing your knowledge that you're gaining over time and your process can maybe help someone else. So that's what I'm hopefully trying to do.
Yeah, well, I definitely know that I've resonated a lot with the lyrics and music that you've put out. And so, I mean, I think you're kind of already you're doing it, and it's really exciting to
Yeah.
see. Yeah, it's really exciting to know that that this is going to keep going and that it's growing
Mhm.
alongside us. That, you know, your sound and
Yeah.
your thoughts will change over time, and your music gets to reflect that.
Yeah, we've gotten very lucky with this release. Like, we put out these two songs, and like the write-ups we've gotten and stuff, like I didn't expect it at all. So like I'm hoping that this can help my platform to raise like other people up and stuff. Like, my goal is, once I'm at a level where I can be like an influencer, if that ever happens, like I want to be able to like help other people gain confidence to do the same thing.
Yeah. I will say you just advocating for yourself, that is powerful in its own. And I
Yeah.
think kind of going back on um, being able to express yourselves the way that you want to. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like this elaborate thing, but just you being yourself is, I mean, bold.
Yeah, well, it's definitely it's grown over time, because I've had a lot more confidence and a lot more fear in the past, and I feel like right now I'm at like a pretty chaotic neutral, and it feels really good to like be like kind of scared, not super scared, and kind of confident, not super confident. Like, I don't know. It feels good right now.
Yeah, no, I love a good balance. I mean, if you're too much of
Yeah.
anything, you spoil your appetite, I guess.
Yeah, because I think I feel like I've confided to you in the past, like punk DIY scenes really fuck you up. So I'm trying to make it more of like I'm trying to make playing music more of just like a hobby or like going to play a sport or something like that than like my whole entire life. So that's been really nice, like recognizing boundaries between the music scene and yourself.
I love that. I really, really love that. I
Yeah,
have a
because
couple more questions. Yeah, sorry, continue.
no, I just said totally. Yeah,
Cool.
totally.
Yeah, I have a couple more questions for you. These are the same last couple questions that I asked Shormey earlier, actually. So kind of, I mean, going off of, I can see that there's like trajectory, you know what I mean? Like there is exploration happening, and there's it's really interesting and wonderful to hear you talk about the ways that you're trying to grow as a person and also as a musician. So that being said, what do you want for the future?
Um, I'm gonna not fuck around and say I would love to support myself with my art. That would be just gorgeous. Like imagine being able to like have this as a job and not as a really upsetting like a really upsetting but beautiful passion. I'd like it as a job because I think if I could do it as a job, I could help more people and I could do something that even though it does help myself, like I'd be able to put a lot more time into helping others and stuff. But what I want in the future is to be able to live on this music, not any more than anyone else does working at like a restaurant or something. And what I would also love is to be able to I don't know, to be able to lift up other people's voices like from my area specifically that aren't getting written about as much. And I really want to help just like people in my local scene that have worked as hard as me alongside me. And I feel like a lot of these fucking bands forget about their roots and forget about the people that have stood by them and have like played alongside them. They grow and then they just stop caring. And I don't want that to happen. Like I really want to always support like the bands that I always played with just because that's like important to me. Like means a lot to me to like because I've been sad about that from other friends that have grown. So I don't know. I also think that with the future for me, I want to eventually see the world. That would be really nice because that's like I never went to the West Coast or anything, so I'd love to just see like more. That would be really cool too. Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, how can we support you right now?
I would say just like pre-ordering our record because the label will give us a check at some point. But but besides that, I feel like just like listening to what we put out. If you like our music or any of my band's music, is cool with me. Like I don't expect anyone's money. I just like that when people hear it. I don't know. I want my like if I live on my art, I would love it to not be out of the pockets of people that support me, and I'd like it to be a lot more like to play from like a venue and stuff like that. Like more of like I don't know. I'd love to have like if I actually got like notoriety, I'd love to have really cheap shows too. Like I'd love to play like $5 shows all the time, and a bunch of people came out, and then it's like no biggie for anyone. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's silly, but I mean, I feel like that's the ideal situation. If you can like have a bunch of people come to your show so you're supported by a cheap show, but also like the people that come aren't really taking that much of like a hit going to see a show.
Yeah. I mean, I love the idea of having shows be more accessible, and then also while you're facilitating the space with your ideas and the themes that you put across in your music, that sounds like an all-around nice time for everybody. I guess for anybody.
I think what I'm trying to do is just like I think that like it's been I've had a lot of time to think, especially during quarantine, about what I want the future to look like, and especially with like recent recent like stuff that's happened in the world. Like I just feel like there like definitely like it's been cool, even though that like a lot of us haven't done enough. Like it's cool to see that the scene at least is like starting to like be interactive with like a lot more interactive with like just people. Like I feel like it's not like I feel like it's really great to see like people that are struggling that aren't in the music scene also being like posted about and stuff over this thing, because I feel like the music scene has always just kind of been like a lot more cliquey, and I feel like there's a lot of like pressure to like I don't know, there's a lot of pressure to act and take direct action, and like even if it's not money, it's like sharing people's stories and what they need. And I think it's so fucking rad that people's stories can be shared in this community also.
Sweet. Well, I put the links to your different musical projects in the chat room. And so if anybody would like to get plugged in, that's there. And I also put the link to virginiaavp.org, aka Virginia Anti-Violence Project, if anyone would like to donate or get somebody else to donate, or even just, stay tuned for any resources that they might share. So just as to close, is there anything else you would like the world to know?
Yeah, a couple things. First, Virginia AVP fucking rules. I've read about it and I think it's an amazing organization. They also were, I think we were fundraising for them the first time we ever went to Richmond. Like I think they helped book our first show in Richmond. So when Teenage Halloween went to Richmond, we played a show that had to do with that org. So it kind of like, on top of it being a great thing, it kind of holds dear to me because it's like a chat, like a fundraising source that has also like we've also helped out sometimes. I don't know, it feels cool because it's also they seem to be very interactive with the community down by you. So it I'm glad to be supporting it in any way I can. And also if you haven't heard, you should listen to Soul Glow's new song, and you should listen to Oceanator's new record, and and Bad Moves' new record. All three of those bands are really, really good.
Sweet. I'm gonna put those links in the chat real fast.
Yeah, Bad Moves' new record is out of control. Like the best DC band I've ever heard. Like,
What is a PC band?
DC.
Oh, DC band.
DC, that's hilarious. But no, Washington DC. Like I played with them at Comet Ping Pong one time, and they were amazing. And I also played with them at some house, and yeah, they're great. Soul Glow's new song is really fucking good and makes me want to like just like rock out anytime. And Oceanator, another great pop band. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show and for sharing so much about yourself. Thank you, Shormey, again. And everybody who's here, just as a reminder, this is Grim Year Wednesdays. My name is Judy, and we're raising money for our Virginia Anti-Violence Project alongside rumblepak and Grimalkin Records. So please check out every single person and organization and group that I mentioned. Lots of really great stuff. And I hope that stuff resonates with you. That would be really nice. And yeah, thank you again for being here. I hope you have a great night. Bye.